Good morning. Ooh, okay. Good morning. Got Cam. All right. Good to go. Back on schedule today. 9 a.m. Streaming on X today too. So giving that a try. Oh, get echo. Oh, good morning. My freaking chat application thing that I'm using hasn't been working. Need to restart that. All right, today got a little space news to start off with, and then OpenAI Shipmas Day 4 is at 10 a.m. So if it's interesting, we'll watch it. I have a feeling it's probably going to be some more like API stuff. Isn't as exciting. And then we got a 2024 internet in review from Cloudflare. This will be mainly what we cover today, and then we'll start off with a little video just to warm up a bit. Okay, I think my chat app thing is good to go. All right, hopefully it's good. Alrighty, we'll just jump into it. Let me make sure. Okay, yeah. One's good.
Talking.
Video, why Facebook parent Meta is willing to lose billions in the metaverse. I thought it was interesting because, I mean, it was like such a quick trend that companies like wanted to jump on so bad for like no reason besides just to get on the trend. And it was like so manufactured by Facebook that I just thought it was interesting that now it's like they spent all this billions of dollars and these other companies made all this, you know, effort towards joining it, and now it's kind of like a meme. So yeah, but I do still have faith that something similar to the metaverse, if not whatever, you know, Facebook's version or Meta's version of the metaverse will come to fruition eventually. But I just think we're still pretty far out. But maybe all the wearable tech and stuff will push us closer there. But yeah, so start off with this here.
Ad nauseum about the metaverse.
There's been a lot of snark about what exactly the metaverse is.
The metaverse, a byproduct of COVID isolation, mass-produced virtual reality headsets in the burgeoning Web3 space.
If we think back a couple of years, we had, huge companies investing in metaverse divisions and hiring chief metaverse officers.
Yes, literally.
Banks started opening branches in the metaverse.
Whoops. My YouTube pause is YouTube in general just been so laggy for me lately. Worrying Bits Metaverse is $1 trillion yearly opportunity. Yeah. I don't know, like looking back, like it's like a meme. It's so odd that companies made these assumptions based off of, I don't even know what they made them based off of, like literally what Meta, like what Zuckerberg said
in the metaverse.
Yeah, such a meme.
Celebrities made headlines buying.
Yes, like this. And it's interesting because in where the metaverse term came from in Snow Crash, this is actually how it does operate. Like that's how Neil Stephenson kind of like wrote it, and like it is how it operates. Like there's virtual neighborhoods and real estate, and like it does matter where you are in the metaverse and blah blah blah. But we're just so far from the technology to be able to have the VR or even AR like to a level where it's actually useful, that it's, I don't know, I guess it's just when like corporate America gets a hold of something, it just takes off, and it's just, I don't know, it's just a meme.
Metaverse. ETFs around the metaverse trade started popping up.
While we were all still sort of under pandemic lockdown, so there was
And this is interesting because this is CNBC, you know, like they're definitely like their target audience is corporate America and like investors and everything. So, you know, I wonder if this is almost like they're gonna defend they're gonna have all these corporate like executive kind of people on here, or these analysts defending, you know, the metaverse, saying how like, you know, we're making excuses in a way, instead of like being like, yeah, we're just like jumping on a trend that didn't play out. So yeah.
Exuberance in metaverse because people were looking to socialize and it wasn't that easy to do in real life.
At the peak of the metaverse hype cycle, Citibank estimated the space could hit $13 trillion in valuation by 2030. Microsoft
That's
threw
crazy.
its hat in the metaverse ring. Even Web3 and crypto projects capitalized on the trend with decentralized metaverses like Decentraland and Sandbox.
People would take this sort of idea of a digital.
And I mean, like, that's cool. Like these ideas are like not bad. Like, you know, these social MMOs are still popular. It's I feel like it when it doesn't have a soul, kind of like when corporations take it on, and people who like maybe aren't necessarily like quote game developers or maybe understand the nuances, it just loses that part of like the authenticity. It just doesn't have a soul, and I think that's kind of part of the reason too.
Sandbox.
Like this looks cool. I don't know what this is, but like it just looks like a Minecraft type of
People would take
server or
this sort
some
of
shit.
idea of a digital asset, apply that to the 3D virtual worlds, and huzzah, you got the metaverse.
But when it comes to the metaverse, no one stakes their claim on the space more than Facebook.
Facebook is announcing its name change officially, now changing its corporate name to Meta.
The next platform and medium will be
Bro, it's crazy how much different Zuck looks. This is 2021. This was 3 years ago, bro. Like his facelift or his like makeover is insane, bro. This is his like lizard phase. Yeah, Zuck went from lizard to fuckboy.
even more immersive.
Go now. Yeah, it's like Zuck gold Zuck fuckboy. I actually don't even want to go to images for that. Actually, okay. I can't look this up on stream here. Let's look up Zuckerberg gold chain. Wait, Zuckerberg's a chain guy, gold chain guy now? It's like okay, to be fair, he's still got the lizard's peeking out a bit still, you know? His eyes are like a little red, you know, and then it's like, but still better. The difference is so crazy, bro. It's like, okay. Whoa.
An embodied internet where you're in the experience, not just looking at it.
In October of 2021, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg placed his trillion-dollar social media company at the forefront of the metaverse conversation, investing heavily in its Reality Labs segment, kicking off the entire Wall Street hype cycle.
There was genuinely a need and a desire at the time for Facebook, the company, to rebrand into something else.
The metaverse was Facebook's answer to an increasingly online population, with Zuckerberg estimating 1 billion users.
We're
by the
going
end of the
1.25 speed
So that
here.
leads us to ask,
We're professionals.
where is everybody?
She's in the metaverse. That's good. That's actually funny.
If you build it, they will come. I think we're all still waiting to see if people will come.
No, bro. We're past it. Trying to make sure I don't get like DMCA'd on YouTube or something.
To understand the metaverse and Meta's role in the space, first we have to figure out what exactly it is.
The metaverse cannot be defined.
Kind of like a virtual digital world universe.
That's like the crypto bro answer. Like, it's just so hard to explain like what it actually is. Like I don't know, if you can't explain it, I'm not sure if people are gonna buy into it.
Universe, if you will, in which people can essentially have like their internet counterpart, essentially like an avatar of yourself, live inside this virtual world.
An open-ended, interconnected world with user-driven content and the potential for the users to cross into other platforms.
Yeah, exactly.
Trying to
Didn't even
define
try.
What a metaverse or the metaverse is was kind of one of the biggest issues that actually surrounded the metaverse overall as a concept, because it was never really universally agreed upon.
While it's difficult to nail down an exact definition of a metaverse, the term predates Meta and virtual reality headsets.
Yes,
Online
Second
platforms
Life.
like Second Life came about in the 2000s and are considered early examples of metaverses. Virtual spaces where players could assume digital identities and interact with other players from around the globe. Originating primarily from the video game space, more recent examples of metaverses include multiplayer games like Fortnite and Roblox. Even Blizzard's World of Warcraft could be defined as a metaverse.
Minecraft.
Fortnite, Roblox, which are like 2D versions of a metaverse where they are these kind of immersive open world platforms.
They're not 2D.
So if
what?
metaverses already existed, why did the term gain popularity in 2021? Well, a lot of it has to do with the advancement of virtual reality.
If you're talking to a CTO of a big Fortune 500 company and trying to, say what technology trends you need to be up to date with, at that time, VR, the metaverse, kind of checked all of those boxes.
There was a bit of a sense in 2020 and into 2021 that this was a technology that was ready, that it was finally going to hit the big time, because we had a lot of false dawns in
I don't understand what made them think that they were ready. Like, the milestones were not even that big, and there was like 3 major players in VR headsets. Like, that's it. Like, I don't know. I'm not really sure what. I think it was manufactured by Meta. Like, they were had bought Oculus. They were producing these headsets. They needed a way to market and sell them. They took the hardware and software route where they kind of own the hardware, and then they wanted to also own the software part of it, the metaverse. And I don't know, it kind of worked in a way. Outside of the metaverse though, like their headsets are legit, and so I don't really I don't know, I feel like they just needed a way to, like, a reason for them to actually sell.
There have been many times when people have said, oh, this technology is only a year or two away from being the next big thing.
And that is where Reality Labs played a huge role for Meta. Created in 2014 after its acquisition of VR startup Oculus, Meta started ramping up investment in Reality Labs over the past 5 years. In December of 2021, 2 months after changing its name, Meta officially launched its online multiplayer virtual reality game, Horizon Worlds.
I actually didn't know
by
that's
the end of the
who,
decade, we hope to basically get to around 1 billion people in the metaverse doing hundreds of dollars of commerce each.
A goal that is looking less and less achievable.
I think of the big moment as when the pictures came out of Mark Zuckerberg's avatar in Horizon Worlds a couple years ago, and it's this incredibly low quality avatar, and people are like, this is what we're supposed to be getting excited about? This is what you're saying is the future? Well, who would want to go into this space?
Yeah. A virtual reality check.
The problem with metaverse is people assumed that they would be developed instantaneously. And even Facebook, Meta, trying to do it in an environment where they're a publicly traded company and have to show success on a quarterly basis is even too fast for a company as well-funded as Meta was.
Now, 3 years after changing its name,
Interesting.
Meta's metaverse has largely fallen out of the tech conversation. Google searches for the term metaverse are near flat just 3 years after hitting a peak in October of 2021.
Undoubtedly, the last couple of years, we've seen the metaverse hugely drop away in popularity.
Now Reality Labs faces an eye-watering $58 billion in operating losses since 2020. An insider report from 2022 revealed Horizon Worlds was averaging around 200,000 monthly active users in its first year, less than half of Meta's original goal of 500,000.
Wow.
If it didn't do this,
I mean, that's actually not that bad though. I know 500,000, but even 200,000, I'm surprised it's even that much. It's no Roblox or Minecraft where they're, probably closer, like they're in millions, but I mean, I don't know.
If it didn't do this and it decided just to be a social company, which it absolutely could have done, it would have saved it billions of dollars in terms of what it spent on Reality Labs.
So what happened? Why didn't people flock to the metaverse? Well, there's been a lot of finger pointing, but most arguments come back to the same conclusion. No one's really figured out a solid use case for the broad adoption of a metaverse.
And that this I could see similar, we covered the AI ads are weird the other day, and it's kind of a similar argument where the metaverse, you could do a lot of things in it, but it's actually marketing a specific thing that would drive people to the platform or to actually use it, or market it in a way that like shows it in a just shows it in a good way. But AI ads are kind of in a similar boat where it's like it could do a lot of things, and so you kind of just have to pick something. But when you're trying to have it be extremely broad, it's hard to draw people to it.
Wasn't necessarily there at the time, and so hence I think you see that sort of pullback away from it.
Meta pitched the metaverse as a place to both work and play. Companies could host a virtual meeting. You could socialize with friends and play games in Horizon Worlds. Shopping and e-commerce were also part of that early vision.
We're promised all these amazing experiences like Ready Player One, that it could be a wider difference than what we're actually seeing when we get in the device.
To put it simply, people really didn't care. Video game players had their own metaverses already, and the metaverse hype cycle ended up being, well, a lot of hype. And it wasn't just Meta who felt the metaverse bubble pop. Web3 metaverses like Decentraland and Sandbox saw trading activity fall significantly on their site after 2022. Sandbox's unique active wallets, a way to measure daily active users on the platform, fell below 100 in early 2024.
But it peaked at 600. That's nothing. 600 people? Like,
meaning less than 100 people were active on the platform day to day.
98% of those projects are totally dead today. The other 2% of them have lost, 95% of their market cap since the highs of 2021.
And Wall Street's been pulling back too, with several metaverse ETFs closing up shop over the past 2 years.
Yeah, we continue to hope that somebody's going to figure out a killer use case for VR, and even Apple has struggled to do so. I don't think metaverse anytime soon, using hardware that's readily available now, is going to be happening.
So why keep investing in something that is an obvious cash burn? Well, when it comes to Meta's metaverse, this isn't the metaverse. This is the metaverse, or at least it's a piece of it.
The metaverse, it's this broad thing. It's not just virtual and augmented reality, although those are going to be some of the new major computing platforms.
When it comes to defining its own metaverse, Meta says Horizon Worlds isn't the entire metaverse. It's only part of the larger interconnected metaverse ecosystem. That includes the software like Horizon Worlds and the Horizon operating system, as well as wearables like Oculus VR headsets and Meta's newest addition, its Orion AR glasses.
We've been investing for this for a long time just because we are asking the questions for what comes after the smartphone.
It's what many consider to be Meta's.
And that's the key right there is, it's actually, this is interesting. I'm just thinking out loud here, but it seems like Meta really wants to get on to the next smartphone like train. They've created their Orion glasses, which are supposed to be the next smartphone. That's a phone replacement. It's not like an vision or a screen glasses with just a screen that you connect to your phone. It's a phone replacement, and I feel like that's kind of what they're shooting for, and that's what with the VR headset they were kind of actually trying to do, is replace kind of the phone to be on the next hype train with for that. And they want the entire software stack like we're kind of seeing, which is a trend with think of Apple, where it's like they own the hardware, they own the software operating system, the stores on it, Google with Android, and we're gonna see that with like AI. We're already seeing it with like cars. Think of Tesla. They have their the car is the hardware. They have it's essentially outside of that they're a software company because they have so much software, and they want to have that full stack. They have more control. They're able to take all of the profits and everything. They're kind of able to control it a bit more. And Meta wants that. I feel like they're just yearning to kind of be the Apple or Google, to have a more of a full stack in like a vertical or a product.
End game, a foothold in the hardware space, a space that has previously eluded them.
It's playing a long game with the hope that it pays off, and the hope being it gives Meta that platform, the computing platform that they crave, the place where they can set the rules. They don't have to abide by the rules of gatekeepers like Apple or Google. They get to have their own walls, their own building, and have their own developer ecosystem within this new computing paradigm.
Meta's Oculus headsets are the top-selling virtual reality headsets in the world, capturing 60%.
I assume, dang, I can't believe I didn't even know ByteDance had a headset, which ByteDance owns TikTok. Apple is 9%. They have one headset and it's 9%. They failed Def coin the name. Yeah, definitely. No way more people own a Apple Vision Pro than they do a Valve's Index. Like I don't believe that. Sony has their PlayStation VR headset. I don't know way. These stats are crazy.
The VR headset marketplace.
Source IDC. IDC VR AR headset market share. I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no way that Apple Vision Pro has sold more headsets than Valve Index, like, over the years. That's crazy. HTC. They made the index, or the index was, the original index was made with HTC, so maybe that's 2024. God, I knew they were gonna make me pay. Okay, hang on. Let me just dive in a little bit more here to no HTC, no Valve. I guess they just fall under other, probably. I would think that that's crazy that Apple had more market share. All right, man, I guess, yeah, that's crazy.
Still, that's holding space in a seemingly declining market, as US sales of all VR and AR headsets dropped 40% in 2023 compared to the year prior. Meta did not respond to CNBC's request for comment.
Not very many companies have the luxury of having, an enormous amount of cash and having an incredibly powerful advertising business that provides them with a constant stream of money to be doing these investments.
I meet people every day who think Mark Zuckerberg invented VR, which is just a crazy notion.
It is through this that Meta can get its own hardware into people's hands, cutting out the middlemen of Apple and Google. Earlier this year, Mark Zuckerberg sat down with the hosts of Acquired to discuss this exact topic, saying Meta controlling its destiny
I love
is
Acquired.
strategically
Great
valuable.
podcast.
I think we might be like twice as profitable if we own the platform or something. So I think from that perspective, that's worth a lot. Just from like a pure like dollars perspective, which is not
Twice as
primarily how I come
profitable.
into stuff.
What Meta did was try to become.
Yeah, that twice as profitable. I mean, honestly, that's not as much as I would think for having like a entire vertical for like a device software, like owning developer stuff, like twice as profitable. It's still double, but like I would assume it was more like 3-4 times. Because it's kind of passive in a way too. Yeah, that's interesting. Twice as profitable.
The company that was building the hard part of the metaverse, which was figuring out the hardware.
It's expensive, losing a lot of money doing it, but it's a bet that they're willing to take.
And controlling the hardware and software ecosystem also means access to two extremely profitable spaces that Meta is intimately familiar with: user data and advertising.
In-game advertising has grown by about 10% a year over the last several years, and it's about a $140 billion industry today.
Meta's ad ambitions are much more grand than just saying, here's a new helmet to put on your character and dress up your avatar with, where, Fortnite and Roblox are more kind of on that tier, where Meta's trying to do what they're doing with Facebook advertising, and they're trying to run the ecosystem.
All goes according to plan, you would have a big online economy going through these metaverses, future metaverses, both the physical with AR to the virtual world and, full 3D VR.
That's where augmented reality comes into play.
Oh, yeah,
an
their
arena big tech
headset,
is investing heavily
or
in. Again,
Orion
here's Mark
glasses.
Zuckerberg speaking with the Acquired podcast on his vision for AR.
Everyone who had a phone before replaced it with a smartphone, and then a lot of more people got smartphones. If all we get is all the people in the world who already have glasses upgrading to glasses that
Dude, these shoes, bro. He is dripped out for this interview.
have AI in them, then like
His vision for
I
AR.
missed
everyone who had
what
a
he
phone
said.
before replaced it with a smartphone, and then a lot of more people got smartphones. If all we get is all the people in the world who already have glasses upgrading to glasses that have AI in them, then like this is already going to be one of the most successful products in the history of the world. So, and I think it's going to go a lot further than that.
Traditionally,
It's
we
a
thought about the
stylist,
metaverse,
yeah.
A lot of people thought about the metaverse as specifically a 3D world. and
Like
virtual.
Zuck is like so like, with respect to him, like, yeah, I don't like his advertising, whatever, but like he's very vision driven, and I feel like he's the kind of guy to hire some PR stylist person to actually like try and relate more and be more like cool with the younger kids to get people to buy into his vision in a way. Like I could see him doing something like that.
Or reality, but Meta has really made it a point to be, AR, augmented reality, blended into the physical world is a really important play.
That's an incredibly powerful thing. If Meta's able to catch that position as a platform player for the next generation of computing, which is, I think, the real ambition,
Yeah.
that puts it in a total
Him as a person, literally though, he just does his thing.
been functioning so far.
So maybe we haven't seen the end of Meta's metaverse ambitions.
Right?
Maybe the
Yeah, he's
metaverse didn't
meanwhile
go
somewhat
anywhere.
aware.
It could just be another decade before we see the ultimate plans of Reality Labs come to fruition.
It's absolutely been,
Yeah.
it's been easy to tease Meta and to kind of point the finger and maybe critique the investments, and that's been a challenge for the company. But I think it's inarguable that if not the Meta, the category, it may not still be really even alive and kicking.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I do wonder how Meta actually feels, or like how Zuck feels about the hype being crazy, you know, during COVID and then it dying down much. Like, I wonder if Zuck actually cares, or if he is still, you know, driven by like the long game and he thinks that it'll eventually come to fruition and he's just taking it, you know, quarter by quarter. Because I like the VR headset, like Oculus or Meta Quest, whatever they call them now. They are like good headsets. It just sucks that they're attached to like a Meta account. Like they're not as like open, I guess, but the headsets they're progressing, and I feel like that is kind of a lucrative business still, especially considering that they are one of the biggest, you know, shareholders for the VR. So, or the biggest, not like by a long shot. So yeah, that is interesting. I think it's definitely still paying off, and over the long term it will, but that hype cycle was so weird during like 2021, where every CEO, I remember watching a interview with like the Disney CEO at the time, Bob Chapek, I think. He was kind of just like in there for like a year or two, and it was a CNBC interview, and he was talking about the metaverse, like it was like so out of touch, so cold, like he literally had no idea what he's talking about, and like he was just like repeating lines, and it was just such a strange phenomenon. And also another test that I always think is like, can my mom, you know, figure, like, does my mom know what the metaverse is, or like understand what it is? If she does, then okay, it's probably like broken through enough of the you know, trend blockers or whatever, or it's a big enough trend to kind of warrant bigger, you know, investment or whatever. But I don't know, my mom is having a hard time knowing what it is or understanding what it does. Then it's just like, then it's probably not going to break into the general, you know, consumer market. Especially something like Facebook. But yeah, I don't know. The metaverse is kind of a meme. It's still kind of a meme, but you know, hopes for Ready Player One style, snow crash style metaverse someday. But I feel like if we do get there, then it's probably pretty shitty on the outside world. So maybe we don't want to get there. I don't know, actually. I mean, I could see that being an evolution of like kind of what Discord is for a lot of friend groups. Like, it's just you know, we have a, you know, server, just place to hang out, shoot the shit, post, you know, things that we all enjoy or whatever, and just discuss it. I could see the metaverse kind of being an evolution of that, where it's like, put on your headset, just kind of, you know, shoot the shit. It's kind of what VR chat is in a way. It's just I could see that being an evolution of kind of Discord and stuff. Once VR takes off more, it's more accessible. You don't need a supercomputer to run it at good quality. But yeah, interesting. Good video. Here's r/metaverse. But this is the worst, because like these people who still browse r/metaverse are like people like still holding on, like it'll come to, you know, like I'm still waiting, soon it's gonna take off any day now. They have like a like the crypto people where it's like February 12th. I'm telling you, that day the coin's gonna skyrocket. I got this inside info. Like copium. That's metaverse, guys. Like, next investment call, Zuck's gonna talk about it. I know it. He's gonna announce something new. Realistically, I'm just giving people a hard time about something they want to come to fruition, that they want to see actually made. So I'm in the similar boat, just with different things. So okay, got some space news. Blue Origin, Bezos, Zuck's long lost uncle, his space company is ready to actually start launching rockets and get government contracts, it seems like. And then this company who I actually covered on stream, and I didn't even realize because they didn't really have much like marketing material out, but this company is essentially making Yeah, like a reusable cargo ship. Yeah, a cargo ship, but only the ship part. You know, the cargo part, and not the actual rocket part, which is interesting. And they actually have they're kind of building like a space logistics network in a way. So it's kind of interesting what they're doing. All right, let me turn my backlight on. Hang on. All right. SpaceX Dragon, meet your competitor, Nyx. Now, I think the Dragon capsule is what it's competing with. It's not. I wouldn't say they're competing with SpaceX as a whole because they only have this part and a space station. It looks like a big white bullet with a rounded nose that swings on open to reveal a docking port and a cylindrical trunk in back that can be mated to any of the number of large launch rockets. If this sounds familiar, that's because we're describing the SpaceX's Dragon spacecraft in the last decade has become a leading player in the market for getting people and cargo to and from Earth orbit. Now comes a competitor from Europe, a reusable cargo capsule called Nyx, planned by a startup called the Exploration Company, TEC for short. How it's described in its appearance, perhaps like this. It looks like a white bullet with a rounded nose, swings open to reveal docking port, and a cylindrical trunk in the back that can be made to any of the large launch rockets. DC's people agree it's a time-tested configuration, because it's exactly what Dragon is. So it makes Nyx stand out in the field dominated by SpaceX. The vehicle's outward design may not be dramatically different, but its rapid development has turned some heads, along with the potential for a space cargo option that doesn't carry the political baggage of China, Russia, or the United States. Yeah, I think this is the main difference is that it's only cargo. As far as I could tell, they're only planning cargo. Yeah, so here we go. They have the Nyx Earth, which is the Earth to low Earth stations, low Earth orbit stations, so space stations, and it's just the capsule, which is what we're reading about. And they have the Nyx Gateway, Earth to Moon stations and back, which is a different capsule, seems like, and then Nyx Moon, which is Earth to Moon, Moon to Moon. Which Moon to Moon is cool. That's interesting, because I imagine if we eventually have more space like moon bases, we have multiple, you know, we're gonna need a logistics network going in between them likely. And with low gravity, it would be very efficient to just, you know, launch a little tiny like capsule type of thing like this, and then just, you know, let the little gravity we have, but, you know, put it into orbit to move it to a different side of the moon. Like, that would be super efficient just because we don't really need much fuel to lift off. I mean, it's smart. I mean, might as well if you're actually making the other logistics network, and so you can kind of have a full stack here. So only 3 countries around the world are mastering this capsule technology, said Helen Huby, the founder of the Exploration Company. It's funny because SpaceX is technically Space Exploration Company, and so it's like so close, the names. We need to have also a capsule in Europe, and this is important too, actually, especially as, you know, Europe is definitely America's biggest ally, and Boeing's Starliner didn't come. I mean, they're trying to sell it off, so I mean, like, that's a pretty much an abandoned project. Let's be honest, I doubt that anything will come of that anymore. And if so, it'll just be too late, because by the time they actually get it going, other competitors will likely have theirs up and running, like Nyx here. But having one that's also like, yeah, completely European I think it's important to kind of not be dependent on the US here, especially just SpaceX. The Exploration Company announced in November that it had raised 150 million euros, about $160 million, in a Series B venture capital funding, making it one of the best financed space startups Europe has seen. And it's already launched a small test capsule in July on the first European Ariane 6 rocket, and it planned another demonstrator called Mission Impossible in 2025. Let's see this. The Ariane 6 is kind of the European. It's one of the most reliable rockets. Oh, they don't really have much information on the actual mission. Ooh. That's hyperspeed for a company that's only began in 2021, and if it's Mission Possible, I didn't even get it. If Mission Possible lives up to its name, the European Space Agency may award the company additional funding to build NICS. ESA and NASA have signed agreements with the exploration company, hoping it can make its first cargo flight to the International Space Station as soon as 2028. 4 years from now. That seems like that seems pretty reasonable, I guess. I don't know what the time frame is from Dragon capsule, SpaceX Dragon, to first International Space Station visit, or Boeing Starliner. But I mean, the space station's supposed to be retired by 2030, so this might be their only trip up there. Or one of few. The ISS is not the exploration company's primary target. The company is more interested in various commercial space stations that may be assembled in the 2030s, including NASA's Gateway and high lunar orbit. If NICS succeeds as an uncrewed cargo ship, the company says a version that can carry human passengers could follow along with a possible robotic lunar lander. Yeah, and the lunar Gateway is kind of like the NASA's next space station that's supposed to be around the moon. Yeah, high lunar orbit. But even that is being optimistic, if I'm being real. That's a $300 billion market over a 10-year period, says Mark Kirasik, a NASA veteran who's now the exploration company's vice president for U.S. operations. So there's room for people who can compete on both performance as well as cost. The exploration company's European routes are a significant selling point. Several EU countries would be natural customers. The company plans to build most of NICS in Germany, with additional facilities in France and Italy. Makes sense. Germany seems like the industrial powerhouse of Europe. I wonder who they're actually... I wonder if they're manufacturing them themselves or if they're working with a partner. The exploration company says it's happy to carry cargo from the US, India, Japan, Middle Eastern companies, or anyone else in need of a pressurized spacecraft. This is them working on test capsule. So maybe they are building it themselves. Much of the resemblance between NICS and Dragon is superficial. Engineers calculated more than 60 years ago that a blunt cone with a heated shield at its base was an efficient, reliable shape for a vehicle that is launched vertically by a rocket and re-enters the atmosphere at the end of its flight. Both capsules are 4 meters in diameter. The exploration company says NICS will be capable of carrying 4,000 kilograms of cargo to a space station in low Earth orbit, flying up to 6 months and bringing 3,000 kilograms back down to a water landing. The cargo Dragon is somewhat larger. SpaceX says it carries 6,000 kilograms of orbit. Okay, I was actually wondering that too. So I wonder what the cost efficiency is there. I guess compared to the Dragon cargo, 6,000 to orbit, so it probably cost... Yeah, I wonder what like dollar per kilogram is to carry it up. Because I mean, 4,000, 6,000 is kind of a big difference. The exploration company bills its spacecraft as environmentally friendly, drawing electricity from photovoltaic panels on its service module and maneuvering in orbit with green propellants. Oh, does it matter in like space what like propellants we use? Like, does the I don't know actually. Maybe being in low Earth orbit, it could affect the like atmosphere. It would use a German fuel called HIP-11, short for hypergolic ionic propellant, with a high test peroxide, concentrated hydrogen peroxide mixed with water as an oxidizer. chemicals ignite on contact with each other, but are far less toxic than hydrazine and nitrogen tetroxide, the powerful but caustic mix that has been used by spacecrafts for decades. Interesting. Not sure. I don't really know about chemicals, but I do wonder how they compare in like price and efficiency. Like sometimes it's hard to know when a company is just doing things because it's easy and cheap, or if it's like cost efficient, but maybe like harder to do. I don't know. I guess I just kind of named the same things in a way. I guess like why do other companies only do this versus like trying new ways to like innovating, I guess. Maybe it's no competition. The history of space is littered with names of companies that never reached orbit. The exploration companies' executives say they hope to beat the odds by moving quickly, keeping costs down, and filling market niches left by bigger companies like SpaceX. And they may just pull it off if they can start carrying cargo for paying customers. It's a low volume, high margin business, so you don't need very much of it, said Chad Anderson, managing partner of the venture capital firm Space Capital. His firm was not invested in the exploration company, but he's watching the marketplace develop. There's a significant revenue associated with each one of these launches, Anderson says, so I don't think that the exploration company would need to launch very many times per week to break even. I think that's one of the reasons why this is attractive. That's interesting, actually. I imagine the craft is designed specifically for those propellants. True. So changing the formula propellant would, yeah, whatever would change the entire design. Yeah, that's actually a very good point. Yeah, and yeah, going on that more, it definitely makes sense because yeah, and they have to be precision manufactured, and it's probably their other companies just they don't want to design an entirely new system, and they are just familiar with it, and so I imagine there's some like onboarding probably too, like to your point. So yeah, that's true. Like onboarding costs, I guess, like to redesign a system or learn the system, get engineers that understand it. Yeah, true. So I guess, yeah, if you're starting off from scratch, then yeah, you might as well find a system that, you know, or innovate on it, I guess. Yeah, that's true. Okay, let's take a look at their website here. They actually don't have much like marketing material, but we'll see what little they have. Yeah, so reusable, refillable, launcher agnostic. Yeah, like launch platforms. And I wonder how long until we actually are going to get more proprietary launch systems where you could kind of like develop for a specific launch system. And then there's going to be companies that like make different adapters to get into different launch systems to like launch on like launch systems. Nix is designed and built to serve space stations. That's cool. Orbital propulsion through reusable green thrusters, docking using our own docking mechanism, avionics, flight software, and GNC. Re-entry and recovery thanks to our carbon-based low-density thermal protection. Yeah, okay, let's look at the about, because kind of they said right here, their own docking mechanism, avionics, flight software, and GNC. A modular reusable space capsule. Nix takes off from any heavy launcher in the world to safely deliver cargo and to and from the space station and low Earth orbit and beyond. Nix was goddess of Cosmo. Okay. We take off from any heavy launcher in the world. Cool. We dock with space stations, to deliver and pick up cargo. We splash down safely, return back to Earth. We're ready to recover the spacecraft for its next mission. The most affordable and sustainable vehicle for space cargo transit. Large up, mass down. Docks of space stations return 3,000 kilograms of cargo back to Earth. The largest down mass worldwide. Oh, interesting. I wonder what SpaceX Dragon down mass is. This was 2012. Way too old. Read Wikipedia. its payload capacity expected to be more than 5,000 kilograms to lunar orbit. There's no requirement for a return to Earth. At the end of its mission, Dragon XL must... Oh, wait, this is Dragon XL. But I think this is Dragon 2, technically, actually. Wait, let's... Yeah, okay, here, let's see. Payload, yeah, here we go. Payload capacity. Oh, yeah, okay, wow. So it has 6,000 to orbit. Oh, interesting. Okay, so this article actually wasn't fully... So it has 3,300 only to the ISS. And then it has a 2,500 down mass. So that it actually could deliver more to the ISS. Assuming, okay, let's actually, oh, okay, SpaceX could carry 6,000, yeah, to orbit. So then what is theirs to orbit though? To a space station in low Earth orbit. I assume that's that means this. So okay, interesting. So they do kind of beat out the SpaceX to the ISS, assuming that this means to the ISS. Accessible pricing. Mission cost 25 to 50% less than other vehicles and are accessible to space and non-space companies alike. First capsule powered by green fuel and is fully reusable and can be refilled in orbit to extend its missions. Cool. Serving both Earth orbit and lunar destinations. 2 low Earth orbit space stations and back. 4,000 kilograms up, 3,000 kilograms down. Yeah. The Nix Gateway, 2 lunar gateway and back. 5,000 kilograms up, 2,000 down. Yeah, lunar gateway, it's just, I feel like that's code to just a space station orbiting the moon. If not the one where United States NASA is going to build. And we got Nix Moon, which is last mile delivery on the lunar surface. Reusable refill propulsions. Capsule is propelled by reusable green thrusters. Huracan, in orbit refillable lunar engine powered by cryogenic. Okay, so wow. They actually took their own got their own refillable lunar engine powered by cryogenic. Okay, wow. Flow stage combustible reusable rocket. So they've actually developed like a lot of hardware. And I wonder why companies are kind of developing their own engines and such instead of going with existing manufacturers. Like, that must be saying something, that either there's not that many options, because there really isn't, but there's still, I don't know, there's still options, or they don't actually fit their use cases, or they're so bad that they would actually, so bad, or they don't fit their use case that it's actually cost efficient just to make your own engine, which is kind of crazy. I would say it's probably beneficial though in the long term, but I just imagine it's difficult. It's riskier. Core technologies designed and developed in-house. Yeah, so this is crazy. They do all this in-house. Thermal protection, carbon-based low density thermal protection, allowing for safe re-entry. So like a heat shield. Docking mechanism, allowing us to exchange cargo with any space station around the Earth or Moon. This, I mean, they'd have to make this. I doubt that there's many options out here for this. Flight software and GNC, allowing us to exchange cargo with any space station around the Earth or Moon. I don't know what GNC stands for. General... And the flight software makes sense, I guess, in a way too, because you have a custom vehicle. I imagine there's, especially if you're making your own engine, I'm sure that there's so much like to figure out that you might as well just make your own flight software. Avionics is crazy, but I guess kind of along the same thought. Modular and COTS based avionics. What is COTS based avionics? Including onboard computer, payload interface unit, power control, distribution unit, propulsion drive electronics, and thermal control unit. Okay. End-to-end digital platform, an internally developed suite with APIs managing the vehicle's digital twin and automatically updating tech documents. That's cool. That's cool. Digital twin. Yeah, and I think way back, NASA actually used to make duplicates of all of their space, like craft, their rovers, etc. Because if something would happened on Mars or on the moon, or while they're orbiting somewhere that engineer can actually go to, they need to have the duplicate on Earth to be able to go and tinker with it, just like you would if you're trying to solve a problem up in space, or on a rover in Mars, or on a rover in Mars. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting that they're doing the digital twin. No reason nowadays to remake that. The digital one would just suffice. Yeah, let's go to about and see if there's any more. I'm also, the OpenAI Shipmas live stream it's live here. I'm just waiting for it to actually start. Midst of a space exploration renaissance. Technological advancements like reusable rockets and refillable space vehicles are making space more accessible. Several new space stations are being built around Earth and Moon. Transportation market to reach new destinations will grow from 5 to 50 billion. Yeah, wow. Yeah, access to space has been reserved for the happy few. Develop these new space worlds has historically been done in an exclusive and often confrontational manner. Our mission is to enable everyone to participate peacefully in the building of our human future. To realize this mission, we are developing Nyx, a reusable in-orbit refillable spacecraft that can be launched from any heavy launcher around the world, fly to any space station. We have a culture of speed and execution. 2 capsules built in 3 years, 6 missions sold. Our team operates with unprecedented speed and efficiency. Our first demonstrator built for ballistic re-entry. From paper sketch to flight ready in 9 months. Then we have Mission Possible. Our second demonstrator built for controlled re-entry into recovery with cargo from initial draft design to flight ready in 2 years. Our first commercial capsules serving space stations in low Earth orbit, so 6 years. I wonder when this is written. So if it was founded in 2021, they are shooting for 2027 or 2026. That would make sense if they have, if they're trying to get to the ISS in 2028. Imagine that they do a few test flights. They have to do test flights before then, so that makes sense. All right, it's cool. I like their branding too. Like their branding. So yeah, watching these guys. But yeah, like send the article, there's, I mean, a lot of the space startups, even the big ones, have gone through a lot of turbulence, like Axiom Space. I mean, they pretty much ran out of money. I don't know what's going on with their actual like ISS replacement, I guess. Blue Origin though, which take a look at you real quick. They're ready. So they have the New Glenn rocket, which is supposed to be competitor to SpaceX's Dragon, or Falcon 9. Sorry, getting all the names messed up. But they haven't really done anything. They've just been building it, so. Liquid hydrogen powered upper stage. And bro, fucking. Yeah, of course, with Amazon. Jeff Bezos literally went. This is like what billionaires do for fun, you know? One day he said he was wondering if the bottom stages for the old Apollo missions were still in the ocean. Did a quick Google search, figured that they still were, and decided to launch essentially like an exploration mission to go and recover these, rocket parts from old NASA rockets from the bottom of the ocean, and he has them now at the Blue Origin headquarters. Like, that's like such billionaire hobbies. But Blue Ring, okay, let's just see what. So this is Blue Ring, some fancy looking satellite, multi-mission, multi-orbit mobility. Blue Ring can support a variety of missions in medium Earth orbit. Okay, out to the cislunar region with unprecedented Delta V capabilities. Customers are easily maneuver Blue Ring and access critical data to ensure successful mission. So this must be like some like communication kind of satellite. In-space computing, Blue Ring provides end-to-end services that span hosting, transportation, refueling, data relay, and logistics, including an in-space edge computing capability. Bro, this is sick. This thing looks like it's like modular. Payload capacity. Blue Ring can host payloads of more than 3,000 kilograms for commercial and government customers to deploy a variety of missions. Because if I'm looking at this, I mean, like, it's hard to actually know what this, like, is, though. Like, it's so marketing speak. But to me, it looks like down here, these are, like, you know, modular kind of things. And so, like, you could kind of have a bunch of different things on here that are modular that hook up to this. And, like, these are just different, like, oh, it's, like, refueling, or one of them's a data relay. And then this is just a big satellite that points at Earth or whatever you need. Oh, no, this is actually, this is an engine right here. I wonder what this little light is. And I wonder if they have this giant cone here around the engine to not like plume to get shit on the actual like parts that are on the satellite. Modular spaceship is going to be cool to adopt here on Earth. Yeah, actually. Modularity is like the key to kind of freedom too, in terms of especially on like technology and electronics. Allowing to swap things in and out, different manufacturers, having unified protocols, like that's the hope. Okay, we don't have Sam Altman here, so.
Yesterday we launched Sora, and the demand has been off the charts. The team was working late last night. They were in already this morning. We are doing everything we can to get you access to Sora as soon as possible, and we can't wait to see what you create. Today, though, we're talking about Canvas, which is a product that we've had in beta for Plus users for the last couple months. Canvas allows you to collaborate with ChatGPT on writing and coding that goes beyond simple chat. So we're launching 3 things today. First, we're bringing Canvas to everybody and integrating it into our main model so it just works. Second, we're enabling you to run Python code inside your canvases, and so you see the output, whether it's text or graphics. And third, we're bringing Canvas to custom GPTs, so you can imbue all of your custom GPTs with the power of Canvas. So with that, let's dive in.
All right, thanks, Kevin. Hey, everybody. My name is Lee, and I'm an engineer helping you collaborate with ChatGPT.
Hey, everyone. My name is Alexi, and I'm also a product engineer working on ChatGPT. So, Lee, are your kids excited about Christmas coming up?
Oh, boy, yes. You know, I thought it'd be fun if we could maybe make a story for them, Christmas story, and use Canvas. Try it out.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Okay. So if I go to ChatGPT, you'll notice starting today there's a new button in the Composer that lets us see all the tools available.
Oh, my camera froze.
One of which is Canvas. So I'm going to click that. And now anything that I type here is going to create a canvas. So let's write that story.
All right, we're good.
Help me write a
that Tom Howard
story.
Hey, these introductions. Yeah, it's like, hey, I'm a product engineer at OpenAI.
To ChatGPT, and it's going to get started right away on making
Fine calls, so they don't give me shit. Yeah.
So there's a handful of things that we should explain what's going on here.
Yeah.
The most significant thing that's different is you have this side-by-side view, where on the left is the chat, as you're used to it, and on the right is Canvas. And in Canvas, right now, ChatGPT is busy writing the story for us. This is pretty different from what would happen if you wrote this kind of prompt before. You know, ChatGPT is good at doing this sort of creative writing work, but it would write it directly inline in chat, and sometimes it's hard to piece out what's the document and like what's the preamble or the what comes after. Or especially if you wanted to make any changes along the way, things tend to get lost. But now you have this side by side. So let's take a look at what ChatGPT made for us. The silly elves and the Christmas catastrophe.
Oh no, not a catastrophe.
In the snowy village of Tinseltown, nestled at the edge of the North Pole, lived the silliest group of elves you ever could imagine. All right, this is looking pretty good.
Yeah, it's like...
you know, I could make some changes. I think this title is a little long, so I'm gonna, you know, maybe take this part out. Actually, you know, otherwise, this is pretty good.
So ChatGPT can edit, and you can edit sort of side by side.
Yeah, so I can type in here, I've been editing the title. I'm kind of making it for my kids. So this is a collaborative document. And just like you might be used to in other document editors, you can come in here, you can add text, you can bold text. You can do lots of things you can do in other document editors. You can edit, ChatGPT can edit. I could go over back to chat, and just similar like I would do in any other ChatGPT workflow, I could give
this is
feedback,
cool.
I could ask
I've
for
never really
changes,
used
and it's going
it.
to come in and make those changes directly into the canvas.
Mistral, who I've been using a lot more lately, they have a canvas feature
this
as
button in
well.
the bottom corner, which has a handful of
Free to
commonly
use.
used shortcuts that's based on things that we know people do in ChatGPT. Suggest edits, ask ChatGPT for feedback.
Okay,
about
this is
we
new
might
though.
want to change about this.
These things.
Adjust the length, might make this longer or shorter. Maybe I want a shorter bedtime story. Reading level will change this to make it
interesting.
more
Reading level, that's
sophisticated
cool.
language or simpler language in case I wanted to make it easier to read for my my younger kids. Add final polish is really helpful, especially when you bring your own content. Check for spelling mistakes, grammar, things like that. And then add emojis. That sounds fun.
The check for polish and a reading
Try it.
comprehension.
So if
That's
I click add
interesting. That's
emojis,
cool,
I've
actually.
got some options about where I want to put them, words, sections, lists.
And that's actually definitely competing with Anthropic's Claude, because Claude actually added like a tone. You could kind of like have it write something in like a similar, in like a certain tone to kind of
It's starting at the top,
adjust
it's
it.
a new version of the doc, and it's
Seems like they're kind of
streaming in
competing
on
with
top
that.
of the previous version, just to make it a little bit easier to see in context what's changing.
Grammarly?
And
actually, I need
alongside this in the chat,
about to not
you're seeing that it's
renew my
editing, and you're
Grammarly
noticing
subscription.
that, we have our instructions back and forth. But otherwise,
Oh, the
it's not
Grammarly's
getting
pretty
sort of
good,
cluttered
like
up
with
the
actual
different revisions
helping.
that are happening.
Kind of looks like when my 8-year-old gets a hold of a phone.
Yeah, I think your kids are going to love this, Lee.
There's definitely a lot of emojis that I put in here that did a pretty good job. Okay, so that's how you get started with Canvas. Canvas will trigger in a couple different scenarios. You can ask ChatGPT to just start collaborating with you on a piece of content, whether it be writing or code, and it will open a canvas for you automatically. Or like I just did here in the interface, I'll show you again, is this button in the composer to view the tools. You just click Canvas, and that's going to create a new canvas every time.
Amazing. So in addition to storytelling, a lot of people use ChatGPT to help with their own writing. Learning how to be a good writer is hard, and today we're really excited to showcase some new features in Canvas to make it easier to get feedback on your work. So in my spare time, I'm a bit of a physics enthusiast, and so I have an essay here that I've been working on titled Santa's Sleigh, Exploring the Role of Dark Energy in Reindeer Propulsion. I'm going to copy this from my, from my text editor and paste it into the prompt area in ChatGPT. Because I put in a substantial amount of text, we now have a new button in the upper right that says Open in Canvas. If I click this, the content from the prompt is put into the canvas, and this is the same editable surface that Lee was demonstrating.
So could you like bold that title maybe?
Yeah, so I can go in here and make a change if I wanted to before I send it off to ChatGPT.
But this hasn't been sent yet. So when you made that bold change, what just happened?
Correct, yeah, this is all still a draft document.
Yeah.
So until I send a message, I can edit it as much as I want. And ChatGPT hasn't seen it yet.
And it's attached to the composer.
Exactly. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to ask ChatGPT, can you leave some comments on my essay from the perspective of my physics professor?
Nice. Okay. So maybe it's going to give you some like technical tips.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll see what it comes back with. But previously, it'd be hard to connect
This is cool,
what
this
feedback
highlighting.
ChatGPT is giving you to your own work because it'll all be inline in the chat.
Okay, wow.
But now with Canvas, ChatGPT is able to select specific portions of your work and leave comments inline, which makes it really easy to connect what the suggestions are to your work.
Yeah, I'm looking at these. These are pretty good feedback. Consider linking this introduction more explicitly to the scientific exploration of dark energy to immediately establish the physics connection. But it didn't just like respond to that in chat. It selected Santa's sleigh and his flying reindeer have long fascinated people, blending mystery and magic. Okay, so it's like picking out sentences that it wants to give you feedback on and then writing the specific feedback per sentence.
Exactly. And each of these comments, I can have an apply button. And so clicking apply would allow ChatGPT to go through and apply the edit as it sees fit. And of course, I could then reject that edit if I wanted to. But since this is my own essay, I'm going to go in here and make changes on my own. So I like this comment. You may elaborate briefly on why dark energy is mysterious to provide context. I'm going to say we don't know, why the universe expands, and we don't know why Santa is so fast in his sleigh. I'm curious about these. Cool.
The mysteries of the universe.
The mysteries of the universe. I'm going to dismiss this comment because I feel like I've addressed it.
Yep.
And when I'm ready to take my essay out of ChatGPT, I can click this copy button and send it off to my professor.
Great. I'm sure your professor's going to love these changes.
You know, this is some cutting edge research here. But in addition to writing in ChatGPT, we know a lot of people also use it for programming. And we've made some really exciting improvements to programming in Canvas.
I want to see what they have for this.
Check it out.
So I've also been helping Santa with some logistics for toy manufacturing. And I've been learning some data science tools in Python.
So you're an OpenAI engineer. You're also a dark energy researcher, and you're helping Santa with logistics.
Yeah, I mean, Santa can be everywhere at once. We really try to as well here at OpenAI.
Okay, got it.
So I have some example code that I've been working on locally. So this is my local IDE, but something's not working, and I want some help debugging it. I'm going to copy that and then paste it into ChatGPT. I see the same Open in Canvas button. I click that, and now I have a canvas open, but this time it's actually a code editor. So ChatGPT has recognized that this is Python code. I get
they said you could run Python code in here now.
and even some basic autocomplete.
Nice.
I know this code isn't working, so I'm going to ask ChatGPT, can you help me debug this code? What might be going wrong?
It hasn't been that good at debugging in my experience, though. Like sometimes it is, but
label does not exist in matplotlib. It provides an example corrected code. We could trust this and take it back locally, but one of the new features we want to demonstrate today is the ability to actually run your Python code within Canvas. So in the upper right, we have this button titled Run. Let's see if ChatGPT finishes. We'll click Run and see what happens. Click Run, and it looks like right away, actually, we see that label is not defined, so ChatGPT.
Oh, you could have figured that out locally. Why'd you have to ask ChatGPT? Just try and run it locally.
Right away, anything in the console is shown to ChatGPT. So ChatGPT sees this exception, and it actually leaves a comment on it.
And
it looks
that's
like this
okay. That's helpful. That's cool.
The error occurs because label is not a valid function in matplotlib. You might likely use title instead. This is great. I feel like I'm always trying to learn new libraries, and this is exactly the kind of error I get all the time. Just like forgetting the API for something. And,
fix bug.
It's pretty amazing that it just picked that out.
Button I could see. Click
and
it.
Just like comments in the document, there's a fix bug button to let ChatGPT fix it for you. So when I click fix bug, we show ChatGPT the exception and your code, and it's able to edit the canvas to make that correction. That was pretty fast. So maybe we want to see like exactly what ChatGPT changed.
Yeah.
And there's this great show changes button in the canvas header.
Diffs.
Clicking that will give you an inline diff that should be familiar to people who use Git to show you exactly what changes were made.
That's cool. And show changes works not just for code, but for documents as well.
Exactly. Yeah, works across both of the editors. So now that we have this fix in place, we can try clicking run to see if it works now. And wow, that was fast.
It's really fast.
Have
that was
our line
actually
chart
so
now
fast.
rendering in the console.
So can you explain a little bit about exactly what happened? Because that Python execution happened very quickly.
Yeah, so within Canvas, we actually load a WebAssembly Python emulator, which allows us to load almost any Python library and run your code almost instantly. So you get immediate feedback. You can collaborate with ChatGPT
Actually using WebAssembly.
and really have a tight feedback cycle all within ChatGPT.
Including generating graphics.
Including generating graphics. So Santa particularly is interested in some Sankey flow diagrams to kind of track how toys are flowing through his...
Sankey, those are the ones where there's like arrows in and arrows out.
No, it's actually everyone now.
Okay.
That's what part of the announcement.
I'm trying to learn.
He's
so
always challenging us.
I'm going to ask ChatGPT to add a Sankey flow diagram for Santa's toys. Please use appropriate colors. See if we get something.
I wonder if they're going to use mermaid or how they're going to. Oh, they're actually just using.
ChatGPT is going to go through and edit our code again, and now it's adding example 2, a Sankey diagram. Cool. So we got total toys, delivered to children, distributed to stores, defective.
Okay. So it's added a handful of lines of code, creating a Sankey, adding data, finishing it, and then saying show.
Yeah. Let's try running this. Oh no. Looks like there's been a problem with the colors. But ChatGPT has an idea of how to fix that. Use a single color per flow.
Let's try it.
Let's try it.
This is kind of awesome because this is exactly what happens when I'm trying to learn something new.
It's actually, I used it to write a script for like FFmpeg, which is like a command line video processing tool. And I said write like a bash script or a whatever that separates the audio, and it didn't work. And I tried to tinker and like ask it questions to try and get it to better. Like this did not turn out to work.
We got a graphic, and we can.
But it just didn't figure out what the problem was, and I didn't know enough or whatever, and so I never really solved it. I don't know. I feel like the debugging is kind of hit or miss.
Programming features in Canvas.
Amazing. All right, there's one last thing that I want to show, and that is bringing Canvas into custom GPTs.
Yeah,
so
this is
GPTs,
interesting. I'm curious how they're going to do this.
Are a way to give ChatGPT custom instructions, custom context.
It's like an agent. It's essentially an agent.
And specific behavior to whatever particular task that you have at hand. And then you can share them with other people so they can benefit as well. There's a GPT store full of these things. They're really interesting. And I decided to make one for Santa. You know, Santa gets all these letters, and he has to respond to all of them. And I figure that's got to be a lot of work. And it might be helpful if you just had, just like a first draft, something to start with. He could decide if he likes or didn't like it. He could edit. He could go from there and then send on his.
So you're also a part of North Pole operations.
I can
Both of you.
I can neither confirm nor deny this.
All right. If Santa comes out with a frontier model, I'm going to be very suspicious.
Is that a Mountain Dew behind his head right here? They have a can of Mountain Dew sitting here.
And left it out on your desk.
Oh, I meant to mail that already. I can't believe you found it.
Yeah. Well, I snapped a picture of that, and I figure maybe we could use that as a bit of an example here. So let's bring that, if I can figure out how my mouse works. Okay, there we go.
They cut away.
We've got our picture into ChatGPT. Let's open it up real quick just to get a look.
An
H100 GPU.
GPU and some dark matter.
That tracks.
All right.
Yeah, that's Lexi right there.
That looks like my letter.
Okay. I also figure Santa has some context on, whether you've been naughty or nice. That's, one of the things that he keeps track of. And in addition to taking a picture of the letter, we probably want to add that in. So I'm going to let Santa Drafter know that Lexi's been nice this year.
Really appreciate that, Lee.
Yeah. Okay, Alexi has been nice this year, so let's send this off to our custom GPT. And hopefully we'll get back a canvas. All right, here's our custom GPT starting to write out our letter.
Nice.
It says, "Dear Alexi, ho, 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 thank you for your letter." I put a big smile on my rosy-cheeked face. Let's see, what do we have here? First off, a new bike. Excellent choice. All right, looks like you're getting that bike.
Great.
H100 GPU, Mrs. Claus tells me it's quite the powerhouse running AI models. The elves in the tech workshop are tinkering away on that one for you as well, so that's promising. And dark matter, Santa's admitting that might
I'll make
even
sure
beyond
to pull some strings with NVIDIA. They owe me something from last year.
It sounds like maybe you shouldn't get your hopes up for that one.
Yeah, I don't know how you put that one in a stocking either, so.
But this is a pretty great first draft. And, Santa could come in here and, change this up as much as he wants, make edits.
There's really isn't anything crazy
ready,
with the GPTs.
Write this out in his characteristic handwriting
or the
style
canvas
and
and
send
the
this letter back out
GPT.
to you. Hopefully this will save Santa some time. And so, we should talk a little bit about what's actually happening here. You might have noticed that I didn't click the canvas button. I didn't mention to create a canvas. It just made a canvas. So this is an example of ChatGPT determining that canvas would be the right thing to do. But I had to know to do that.
Yeah.
Well, when I built this custom GPT, I put that in the custom instructions. So do you guys want to see how I made this?
Yeah, could you show?
Yep.
Yeah, please.
So if we go up here into the GPT, excuse me, and hit edit, and that should take us to the configuration page. So this is how you set up a GPT. It's really pretty straightforward. You can get a picture and a name and a description so people in the store, if you choose to share it, can see what it's about. The important part here is the instructions. So I wrote here, your tool for Santa to help write first draft responses in Canvas to the letters that he gets.
Specifies in Canvas.
Santa's characteristic style and humor, and your job is to write responses to the letters using the Canvas tool. So in the instructions, I told it to use the Canvas tool, so I'm going to expect that it will use Canvas pretty much to every thing that I put in there, which is exactly what I want this to do. That's going to be the right tool. In addition to that, down here at the bottom is a list of checkboxes on your capabilities. So this is the set of tools in ChatGPT that are available in GPTs. And there's the new one here, Canvas, which is starting.
I'm still not seeing it actually.
Will be on by default for new GPTs. Existing GPTs, we're going to leave this off. That way we don't disrupt the behavior of any existing GPTs that people have created. But if you want to add Canvas to your existing GPT, very easy to do that. You just go into this configuration screen. You'll see that checkbox, and you can check it. And then you'll have Canvas available in your GPT.
Amazing.
Yeah. So this is Canvas. That's the handful of things we wanted to show you today. We've got Canvas rolling out to all web users, regardless of plan. This is a default experience in 4.0. So whether you're on a free plan or a paid plan, you'll have Canvas. We've got using your own content in ChatGPT, or using your own content in Canvas. We've got code execution, and we've got Canvas and custom GPTs.
It's awesome.
Code execution is cool. That's probably the best thing I've seen out of
Like we
this.
said, we'll be rolling this out today. Before we go, though, let's end with a Christmas joke.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah,
we're ready.
All right. How does Santa take photos?
All right, let's hear it.
Mountain Dew
With
can.
a North Polaroid.
That was
All
so
right,
bad.
see you tomorrow, everybody.
All right, that's cool. Yeah, Canvas is cool. The code thing seems to be the coolest thing, but yeah, it was pretty mid. Not as like big as announcing Sora or the video whatever model, but yeah, it's cool. The code execution is cool because I think that'll bring more tools that you could use within the ChatGPT, especially once they open up to like JavaScript. I imagine like Python's now, but I imagine something like JavaScript will be next because it's easy to run in the browser. Browser could just do it natively essentially, and I think that will open up a lot more. Yeah, cool, I guess. The editing, the comments thing actually was cool, and the changing the tone and editing actual like text documents, that is neat actually. I forgot about that. That's cool. That's innovative. Because it's definitely it seems like they're kind of giving a lot of tools now to actually have it be more of an assistant type and help you with things you already do versus kind of generating things. Kind of like it seems to be making it more of an interactive like relationship in a way, which I think is probably the way we should start going now, instead of having it be just full replacement until AI is actually good enough to full replace us. But we'll see. Cool. Okay, let's take a look at, here we go. Internet trends year in review by Cloudflare. They put this site together every year because Cloudflare has so much traffic running through them, internet traffic, that it's they're able to see a lot of insight, have a lot of trends on it. So let's go through this. As interesting, good way to end the stream here, but it's quite a bit actually. We got a lot to go through. Some of this we'll skip through. Let me close all these tabs. Okay, and then I want to add the compare. Let's add the United States. We can see worldwide versus United States. Okay. Year in review. Cloudflare Radar 2024 year in review shines a light on the internet's patterns, trends, and as observed through Cloudflare's global network. We encourage you to explore this data below, and you could also preview key findings on the overview in the popular internet service blog. Yeah. Okay. 17% growth. Yeah, we'll just start here. Internet growth. Interesting. Worldwide is the same as the United States. It was just a lot bumpier. And I wonder, so I mean, it really picked up here in August. I wonder if this is just because of the holidays. I don't know. That's actually interesting. I wonder why, because it was actually negative for most of the year. Like a good chunk of the year is all negative, especially in the United States, and then it just skyrocketed towards end of July. Oh, school, I bet too, maybe. No, but school's in session most of the beginning of the year too. Yeah, it's a crazy spike at the end of the year. And this is a percent change, its graph, so yeah, I wonder why. Oh, election, that's a good point too. Yeah, you're right. Even the election is like right here though. But it still probably was election. Actually, I wonder if we could even pinpoint it to like Kamala Harris being announced. Because it was around this time. Yeah, the election. Oh, it's a huge spike. But yeah, I think you're right, and that's probably why it's specifically during this time. It's interesting how it's pretty stagnant though throughout the rest of the year. I wonder if what the average growth was, taking out the kind of like post September. This troll bots, yeah. True trend line starts mid-January, allowing the internet activity to normalize following the return to work and after school after New Year. They didn't really comment about much of that. I wonder if they commented in here. Yeah, here. This is like longer commentary on it. Global internet traffic. Actually didn't really talk about much. They didn't really say why. Okay. Actually, I want to sit down here. Internet service. Top 10 most popular internet services worldwide. Of course, we got Google. Ugh. Google, Facebook, Apple, TikTok, AWS, Amazon Web Services. Wow. Microsoft, Instagram, YouTube, Amazon, WhatsApp. Facebook is number 2. I wonder if that's no, Instagram's down here. Wow. So Facebook has, just Meta alone has Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp in the top 10. Google has Google or Alphabet / Google has Google, YouTube. Interesting. I wonder what Apple means too. Generative AI. ChatGPT. Makes sense. Character.ai. This one I never really like have used, or I've only heard it in name. But it seems like it's more like a role play one. But you could create them and share them. Elon Musk. Yeah. Debate. So it's interesting. That's number 2. Codium, which I was surprised this was number 2 too, because there's other popular. This is like a code generation for generative AI. I didn't realize that they were this popular. I actually just downloaded this Windsurf editor to try it out, and it's pretty cool. Quillbot, which your complete writing solution. Your ideas, better writing. Maybe this is. I was just literally about to cancel Grammarly. Maybe this is a better Grammarly. Wonder how much it costs. $8 a month. That's way cheaper than Grammarly. Claude. Wow, ChatGPT is so far ahead. Then Perplexity, then GitHub Copilot, WordTune, which I've not heard of, Poe, and Tabine. I haven't heard of these last 3. Interesting. Social media. Facebook is number 1 still. That's crazy. TikTok, Instagram, X, Twitter, Snapchat. I'm surprised Snapchat is this high, above like LinkedIn. Discord is number 7, which is crazy too. Pinterest is number 9. Reddit's 10. Wow, I'm surprised Reddit isn't higher either. Twitch is number 3. Twitch is above Disney Plus, Prime Video. Wow. Plex TV, Vimeo. I can't believe Twitch is number 3. News. Lobo. This is an interesting mix, actually, too. RT, like Russian state media. Commerce, yeah, Amazon, AliExpress, Shopify, Temu. I'm surprised Temu isn't higher either. Messaging. I'm surprised Discord isn't under messaging, instead it's social media. WhatsApp, QQ? Things like Chinese, Telegram, Viber, WeChat. Kakao Talk, this is the Korean one. Messenger? Is that Facebook Messenger? Metaverse and gaming. Roblox, baby. Dude, Minecraft is way down here. I thought it'd be higher. Xbox, Epic Games / Fortnite. It's above Steam. That's crazy. Shows how much pull Epic Games still has, I guess. PlayStation, EA, Blizzard. Games, League of Legends, Minecraft. Minecraft is a lot of local play. Very true, actually. Garena, I've never heard of that. Financial, Stripe. TradingView, it's interesting. Alipay, PayPal, Coinbase. Binance is still high, even though banned in the United States. Number 1. Coinbase, CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko. NiceHash is 10 still too. Wow. Interesting. SpaceX Starlink traffic trends. Don't they have Binance US? I swear they're banned. Even though they have that, they're banned still. I didn't want to go. CoinGlass it goes to when you go to that. Never heard of CoinGlass. I honestly love websites like this just because I love like all the numbers and like the UI. Looks really neat. Huh. SpaceX Starlink traffic trends. 3.3 times growth in Starlink traffic. Cool, I guess. IPv4 traffic distribution. I'm actually skipping that because it's like IP address shit and like I don't want to leak my IP. AI bot and crawler traffic. Yeah, this is cool. So Claude bot, GPT bot, OpenAI search bot, Perplexity bot. I wonder what this Byte Spider is. I wonder who that is. Byte Spider. Oh, that's ByteDance. Is that TikTok? Oh, it is. Byte Spider. Wow. Dang, they've been crawling the internet like a motherfucker here. Like, so far ahead of anybody else. Wonder if it's just because they started later. We could see it taper off, and I do wonder if it's because this is like when the initial crawl kind of started, and so it was high for a while. But then once they crawled most of the internet, they're kind of just getting updates here and there. But even like this is a Claude bot. They've all really tapered out except the GPT bot. That one's kind of a pretty up and down. Perplexity is so low, it's like not, it's literally 0.1% like the entire time. And same with the OpenAI search bot. Interesting. Post quantum encryption. TLS 1.3. This is relevant nowadays with Google. Yeah, I'll link this. Here we go. There we go. iOS versus Android. Wow, it's much closer in the United States. Like it's almost split. Which I thought the iPhone lean would be much higher in the United States. Let's see the highest share of iPhones Denmark, Monaco, Macau, Australia. It's an interesting top 10. Yeah, imagine Android is like, yeah, Sudan, Bangladesh, Turkmenistan, Syria, Yemen. I imagine it's more, they're cheaper to make, so they're probably less rich countries. Peak Android share is over 95%, while peak iOS traffic share is around 66%. HTTP versions. Imagine we want the new one. Our website technologies. Here we go. This is kind of the next big one. Go is the most popular choice. Oh, cool. Go's like one of my favorite. That's interesting, actually. And I guess Go's really big for web technology, like web server stuff. More than half of the dynamic traffic seen by Cloudflare is API related, and it continues to grow over time. Much of that API traffic is automated. That is determined to not be coming from a person using a browser. He analyzes API traffic to identify the top languages used by developer to develop API clients, and the chart below shows their distribution during 2024. Go moved to the top of the list, approximately 12% of automated API requests made by Go-based clients. That means that there's just a lot more web server stuff that's Go, which makes sense. Google uses Go. I mean, Google created Go, but it's just really good for web stuff because it's really fast. And I'm surprised Python or Java's up there too. Okay, let's look at this. Modern websites are complex productions relying on a mix of frameworks, platforms, services, and tools. Using Cloudflare's Radar URL scanner, we analyze websites associated with the top 5,000 domains to identify the most popular technologies used across a number of categories. It was collected across a subset of the top 5,000 domains, as not all have active websites at their apex. Okay. Microsoft advertising. I would have not guessed that for advertising. I would assume it was like Meta or Google. I don't even see Meta on here. Twitter ads, LinkedIn ads, Google publisher tag. Yeah, that makes sense. Reddit ads, Google AdSense, Amazon advertising, The Trade Desk. Wow. Oh, okay, maybe this is a Facebook Pixel. Google Analytics is still so high up. LinkedIn Insight Tag, HubSpot Analytics, Microsoft Clarity, Cloudflare Browser Insights, Hotjar, Zoom Info. No privacy-friendly ones besides the Cloudflare Browser Insights. But this arguably, some people would probably say this isn't privacy-friendly, but... Wow. A/B testing. Okay, this is I want to see this content management system. So WordPress is still crazy high. Adobe Experience Manager, Contentful, Drupal, Squarespace is tiny. Wow, Prismatic, Wix, Craft. I actually haven't heard of a lot of these. Key compliance, JavaScript frameworks. Okay, here we go. React, of course. Vue, Next.js. I would assume I mean, I don't follow like the web dev stuff as closely as I did before, but I would assume Next.js would be above Vue. That's interesting. Gatsby require Alpine, Angular, AMP, Stimulus, no Svelte. Svelte's probably my go-to framework besides Alpine here. No Svelte. That's wow. Maybe it's a library. No, jQuery's still up there. I can't believe people are I guess jQuery is just a easy thing to use. Marketing automation. HubSpot, Marketo, MailChimp, Salesforce Marketing Cloud Engagement. Okay. Oh, Klaviyo, I've heard of that one. Platforms as a service, here we go. WordPress engine. There's been some drama around WordPress engine, some big drama actually. So AWS is not even close. That's insane. You got Vercel, Azure, Atlassian, Start Page, Netlify, Pantheon. GitHub Pages, wow. Also, no Cloudflare. I'm surprised. Cloudflare's own product isn't on here. They have Cloudflare Pages, which is what my website is currently being hosted on, but I've used Vercel before. Vercel's good. And Netlify is what I use probably the most before, too. Like, outside of Cloudflare Pages, I used Netlify for a long time. And same with GitHub Pages, so interesting. Programming technologies. PHP. This is probably just because WordPress. WordPress is PHP. Then we got Node, which is JavaScript, and then Java, Ruby, Python. Okay, makes sense. Python is very low, and I'm surprised it's not above Java at least. But web frameworks. Oh, I see. So maybe this is like JavaScript frameworks versus web frameworks. I guess or web frameworks is more just not JavaScript. I see. So this is where Next.js has much more. Ruby on Rails, Spring. So this is Java. It's interesting that Spring is very low, but Java is still high. Django, this is Python. I'm surprised this is this low too. Laravel, which is PHP, and Livewire, which is JavaScript. Yee, I've never heard of Yee. Cool, interesting. API client language popularity. Yeah, we looked at that. Search engine market share. It's not even close. We saw a little dip here, but not even close. It's also interesting. DuckDuckGo is much bigger than people think. Like, they are one of the big guys. They're very popular. Cool to see. But we got Google, Yandex, which is the Russian Google essentially. Although I think they're trying to separate themselves from Russia, because I think the actually like owner of or the founder of Yandex like fled Russia recently. We got Baidu, which is the Chinese Google. Bing, which is crazy that it's even 2.6%. But it's probably just because it's default on like Windows computers with Edge and shit. Cheap viewers on bro, get out of here. How come these guys always come on here? Like, what do they think is gonna happen? Anyways, yeah, Baidu's Chinese one, Bing, DuckDuckGo, and other. I wish that we had the other breakdown. Oh, so this is actually overall. Okay, this is interesting. Let's look at Android. Google is higher on Android. That makes sense. That makes sense. It's even higher on iOS. This goes to show, you know, Google paying to be the default spot. Seriously paying out. Okay, so this is, the platform is interesting because let's look at Windows, and I bet we'll see Bing be higher. 10%. It's actually so much different. Oh my, okay, this is overall. Go to Android, okay. Google's higher. Baidu is higher. Yandex is higher. And Bing, it came from, they took it from Bing and other. DuckDuckGo is about the same. So these three took the market share from the bottom. Desktop, Google is much lower. Bing is a lot higher, and that's probably because of Windows, which we'll look at. Yandex, Yahoo. So Yahoo's actually up here now. And DuckDuckGo is a like single digit. Wow. We could actually see Google pick up here towards the end. We got Mac. Wow, DuckDuckGo's second in with Mac on Macs. That's interesting. Okay, mobile. Google, Baidu, Yandex, DuckDuckGo. Okay. Bing is way lower on mobile. And then Windows. Bing 10%, yeah. Compared to just desktop, Bing's 8%. And then Mac OS, Bing is 1%. This really shows about the platform. And this honestly works against Google, where this is just showing that the platform really does matter, because you could have the default search be whatever you want if you own the platform. So it's no different than Microsoft to Bing as Google is to Android or Chrome or whatever. Microsoft to, you know, Edge. Yeah, this is interesting. Then iOS. Yahoo Japan. Wow. That specifically made it like above the others. It was enough to warrant its its specific Japan one. That's crazy. And then browser market share. All right, here we go. Because this is where you really get to see what owning the platform actually does for these big tech companies. Chrome, Safari. So Chrome is still by far, you know, the biggest. And that's Safari, which is Mac only. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if I could download it on Windows or Android. Edge, which is default for Windows. Safari default for Mac. Firefox, which Firefox is default for some Linux distros. Samsung Internet, and then other. Interesting that other actually has a pretty significant share. Then Android, yeah, 85%. Yeah, these two. I mean, this is default, I assume, on Samsung phones, which are Android. Yandex, UC browser. I don't know what this one is. Opera is 8.8%. Huh. Desktop. Chrome is 66. Edge, Firefox, Safari, Opera, other. I wonder what if Opera has more users than Brave. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, look, this is like, oh, Brave actually has a market share on a Mac OS. That's crazy. It's shown up here. More than Opera. So on desktops overall, they just must not have as much. But I guess this is like a crazy. Let's look between Windows or look Android. Or no, we're not there yet. Okay, so yeah, Mac OS though. But yeah, I mean, the share is much lower. Now mobile, Chrome and Safari makes sense. Samsung Internet makes sense. UC browser. This must just be mobile. Windows. I wonder if Edge is gonna make a showing in Windows. Yep, 17%. Wow. Opera and Brave. So it's cool. Brave is actually showing up here, and Opera I didn't realize has had that many customers. But yeah, it's still actually above overall average on Windows for Chrome. But the only place Edge has market share. Well, I don't know if there's an Edge. Oh no, actually no, there is an Edge app. In iOS, I wonder if a lot of iOS people do use Chrome still, but I wonder if Safari will surpass. Oh, Jesus, not even close. Wow. And DuckDuckGo browser actually on iOS. Wow. This is interesting. This is an interesting to see this broken out like that by platform and operating system. Internet outages. What country is this? Iraq. A lot of internet outages there. So interesting that there's a lot around this area. Cause government directed. Wow. This is cable cut. Wow. Technical problem. Military action. Cyber attack. Oh, this is Ukraine. Oh my gosh. Interesting that they have the reasons listed though. Bermuda, weather. Unknown technical problem. Oh, here we go. Government directed. That's interesting. Cable cut. Known military action too is an interesting one. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Yep, censorship. Yeah, especially in the kind of like third world-ish countries. And we see like, I mean, just by continent, kind of Africa here, Middle East is rough. Just like high conflict areas. And internet quality. I mean, this is IPv6 adoption. I mean, this is, I imagine this is slowly growing, as I hope it should. But yeah. Download speed, internet quality. Spain had highest download speed in 2024. By like pretty big margins. South Korea has always been up there. And the others are kind of surprising. Spain, Hungary, Romania, Portugal, Israel, Jamaica, Malaysia, Denmark. Like this is quite the spread here. Upload. About the same. Although, interesting to be ranked higher on upload than you are download. Like, that's interesting. Idle latent. I don't know if latency matters, but huh. Spain is top of the charts on both, though. That is very surprising. Cool to see, though. 70% of the world population uses smartphone. Primary uses of means of internet access. 100 countries, regions had a majority of traffic from mobile devices. Still, though, desktop is double of what mobile is, at least in the United States. I assume it's probably primarily from like work. That's why, and because I just don't imagine most people nowadays actually owning desktops unless you have a use for higher compute, because I feel like laptops are probably suffice for most people. But it's interesting to see that still majority traffic. So I assume that's probably from work, the desktop traffic, and mobile's more for personal. At least just the majority. Even worldwide, it's still more, but I think the trends are probably the same. Customers may choose to mitigate traffic for a variety of reasons, even if the traffic isn't suspected to be malicious. However, for malicious traffic, DDoS mitigation techniques and web firewall managed rules are two of the most effective defense against application 7 layer attacks. These attacks can knock unprotected websites offline. Here we show the percentage of global traffic mitigated by Cloudflare on a daily basis during 2024, as well as the percentage of traffic mitigated as a DDoS attack or by web application firewall managed rules. So worldwide mitigation, United States, 5.1. So I wonder if this is saying that 6.5% was mitigated. Oh, I see. Only 5.1% was mitigated. Okay, got it. I thought the United States made up this 5.1% made up the 6.5%, but that's not the case. The United States was still very high. Bot traffic. Non-human internet traffic monitoring bot levels can help spot potential malicious activities. Cloudflare maintains a list of verified bots. Yeah, this radar.cloudflare.com, it's actually really cool. I'm not going to click on it because I don't want my IP to leak, but there's a lot of cool stuff you could browse on here if you're interested in like internet traffic statistics and data. 68% came from the top 10 countries for bot traffic. And that a significant amount of it comes from networks associated with Cloudflare or with cloud platform providers. Interesting. Iran is up there. That's interesting. Same with China. It's Iran though. That's very interesting. Russian. Wow. autonomous system. Amazon. Oh, I see. So this is just saying that I'm assuming this is like the servers they come from. So it's like Amazon, like O2 must be like some label. Amazon AES, Google, Microsoft Corp, MSN, ASBA, Google Cloud Platform, Hetzner. So I guess maybe this is saying that like just Google in general, like its own bots, and then this one is Google Cloud Platforms. Those are people on their cloud service providers. Hetzner is a big European host. Iran Cell. Is this Iran? Is this why it's so high up? Apple Engineering, DigitalOcean, another cloud provider. OVH, big cloud provider. ChinaNet Backbone, number 31, Jingrong Street. I wonder what that means. Alibaba, CNNet, Alibaba US Technologies. Oh, this is US technology, but it says ChinaNet. Cloudflare, Facebook, Comcast, China, AT&T, Enron. Most attacked industries. Gambling games organization were the most targeted in 2024. Wow. I would have not guessed that. Gambling. It's like people lose money. They're like, I'm gonna DDoS you from me gambling money and losing it on your platform. Finance also makes sense, but I think it's tied or similar. Digital native. Not sure what that is. People in society and telecom business industry. Law and government is way down here. What is this? It doesn't work, whatever it is. Commonly exploited vulnerabilities. Log4j. This is like a database exploit. Atlassian Confluence code injection. Auth bypass. Remote code execution. Wow, so Log4j, people were exploiting that like a mother. It was 100% at one point. Log4j ranges from approximately 4 times to over 20 times the activity seen from Atlassian Confluence code injection, as much as 100 times the aggregated activity seen by authentication bypass or remote code injection. Wow. 60.4% in valid IPv4 routes. One important step towards improving internet routing security has been the adoption of resource public key infrastructure, a cryptographic method of signing records that associate a BGP route announcement with the correct originating AS number. This enables network providers to validate BGP announcements and reject invalid routes. Malicious emails. 4.3% of emails are malicious. That is way lower than I would think. 4.3%. Wow, it's spiked in insane amounts. Wonder what this correlated with. Top email threats. Deceptive link is number 1. Identity deception. That's like the Nigerian prince. Identity deception. Credential harvester. Fish. Oh, North Korea. Yeah. Classic. Yeah. Credential harvester. Brand impersonation. Extortion. Jesus. And then it drops off from there. Attachment. Account compromise. Scam. Domain age. Voice phishing. Wow. Also interesting to see the trends of it, because like identity deception was way higher around this time. I wonder if this is like the end of tax season or something. That's why, or Like the beginning of the year, it was extortion. We're seeing like the what's cool for like email threats. Extortion was 86%. Wow. Wonder if that's because it's around the holidays, so like people are just like trying to get money out of people. Top level domain names, known as TLDs, are found in the rightmost portion of a host name. Yeah. Okay. As of November 2024, there are nearly 1,600 top level domains listed in the INA root zone database. Some top level domains are favored by threat actors for sending malicious and spam emails. Based on the analysis of billions of email messages by Cloudflare email security in 2024, have identified TLDs shown to be the most dangerous, responsible for the largest shares of malicious and spam emails. So ws.lol bar inc. Okay, let's see. Spam. Quest. Interesting. Social Today. Wiki. World website. MG Uno. Interesting how the difference between malicious and spam, there's not really much overlap. Like this is like completely different. Let's see total. So these are the worst. Bar, Rest, Uno, Best, Click, WS, Social, Shop. I'm surprised not Shop too. .today, .top, World. Oh, and that's it. Wow. Oh, it ended right at 11. .ru. That's only 68%. Huh. This is interesting, I guess, just to get a snapshot, more technical side of the internet. Cloudflare, a lot of traffic drives through Cloudflare, which I'm actually curious what percentage actually does go through Cloudflare. Internet traffic goes through Cloudflare. What is Cloudflare? Cloudflare is they're just like a developer platform, I guess. I use them I buy my domains through Cloudflare. Let me log in. They do a lot, but I actually own stock in Cloudflare. It's one of my better performers. Very volatile though. And it's one of those companies that I feel like is undervalued for what they do. Like, still, what percentage of you have 20%. If almost a fourth of all internet traffic runs through your servers, I would assume that you're pretty valuable. I'm just trying not to leak anything. Okay, so yeah, I have all my domains registered through Cloudflare. My website is hosted on Cloudflare Pages. Cloudflare has workers, which is like serverless compute, so you could run like run code in a serverless platform, whereas like essentially it's just a server on demand. They have R2, which is competing with Amazon's S3, which is object storage, so just kind of internet storage. They have D1, which is a database. They're kind of just like AWS, Google Cloud Platform. They're kind of competing with that, but they started off more so in like security, protecting against DDoS, routing internet traffic. Like you could put rules in to route internet traffic for different ways. My email, my domain at bradyblaney.com or bradyblaney.com I have as a registered as an email proxy with Cloudflare. So anyone who emails me at bradybellini.com, it'll go through and it'll be routed to my normal email, so I don't have to like do that. They have AI stuff too through that. So I mean, it's just kind of like a toolkit for running a website. They also have analytics. You could like, they have a lot of like image optimization stuff and like video streaming. They just recently announced calls. They could build like apps using the Cloudflare network for like calling. So yeah, they just have a bunch of stuff like that. I just like their platform. It's very easy to use and it's very cheap. It's cost effective. I've given them, the only money I've given them is renewing my domains, which you do that everywhere. So everything I've just said I've been doing for free. So yeah, so I think they're a cool company. They've been doing pretty good about making new stuff, innovating. But they're still not really that profitable, which is the hard part. They are, but just barely, and only in some places. But yeah, so it's cool. They also have they publish a lot of blog posts. Since they have so much internet traffic that goes through them, they publish a lot of interesting insights and blog posts. Bose Quantum, pouring internet traffic shifts in cyber attack. Yeah, I was actually going to cover this on stream, but it was a long write-up. But it's interesting. Free business level service to media organizations, human rights defenders, and non-profit organizations. Cool. Dang. DDoS requests mitigated U.S. political election-related websites. So it started in September, October, November. Yeah, and this also aligns with kind of you saying the elections, which, yeah, seems like a big indicator. But yeah, so that's all I've planned for stream today. Back at it 9 a.m. tomorrow. I want to try and highlight another AI startup tomorrow. Actually, maybe we'll do I did plan to do this one. This is the company, this Waveforms AI is the company that made the voice for ChatGPT, and they're trying to make audio intelligence, but mainly it's emotional intelligence, like understanding, being able to have voice, robot generated voice that has like, sounds like it has emotion in it. Speech Turing test. A lot of problems though is like with these companies that they just don't have much information out there. Like this website is all they have, and there's just not much more. Like this is all they're like, that's it. Like this is all they have. They don't have a product yet. So I want to like cover them and understand them more, but no one is there's just not any information out there. But, oh well. So cool. All right, let me do this. Yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Back tomorrow 9 a.m. Interview them. Yeah, I don't have enough poll yet, but eventually. But yeah, 9 a.m. tomorrow. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate everyone showing up. Really do. Yeah, streamed on X today, but no one viewed it on X. Not sure how it works on there. But cool. Thanks for watching, everyone. Subscribe to YouTube videos. Got shorts coming almost daily, so check it out, and see you tomorrow 9 a.m. Figure out how to stop all these streams.